What are some tips about fighting you could give someone who's never been in a fight? I have years of experience in boxing and Muay Thai. My best tip is, run. Street fights aren't a sport where people follow the rules. Even an experienced fighter can end up with a knife in his stomach or a brick in his neck. Just run. Getting punched hurts. Sounds like it's not much of a tip, but a lot of people walk into fights thinking they'll throw a swing back and power through it like Iron Man. This is most definitely not the case if you've never been in a fight. Take it from a guy who used to carry a weapon every day: if you don't have to fight, don't. If you're going to follow these tips about eye gouging and what have you, it better be worth you getting injured, and you better be demonstrably in the right if you mess someone up and the police show up. Chances are, if you're asking for tips via Reddit, you're not winning that thing. When shit is about to break loose, start undressing and get naked. It is important to demonstrate the opponent that you are utterly insane and will use that during a potential murder trial. Go all in. If you're not committed to doing the most damage, there's a good chance you'll get your ass whipped. Keep a wide stance. Billow your trench coat to display your finely crafted Nippon-grade steel katana. Show your opponent your Reddit badge, and say Chad, his name is most likely Chad, I wishes not to give thee penitence and persimmons, however, such may be the case, woe is thee. Wait for him to leave, put on a life jacket, try not to drown in pussy. If a random person is just going around looking for a fight, like say under the influence of something or you can tell isn't all there mentally, get the hell away. They are most likely to either pull a knife or a gun when someone engages them. Never get in a knife fight. The loser of a knife fight dies in the street. The winner of a knife fight dies in the ambulance. Footwork is important. Stand so that a punch won't knock you over. Don't lean into a punch. Also, know what advantage you have over your opponent. If he's bigger than you, try to move to the side or behind him. Moving's harder for him, so make him move. If he's taller, get in close so his reach advantage is taken away. If he's lactose intolerant, throw milk at him. I remember a thing about identifying people who actually want to fight you. If they're making jabbing gestures and generally acting like that trying to make you flinch, then they're just trying to scare you off. If they're just walking toward you dead-eyed like they're just done, then they're serious. Paraphrasing something I once read. A commitment to personal security means dedication to avoidance, deterrence, and de-escalation. Stay away from conflict if you can. Be ready if you can, at least look ready. That may discourage a would-be opponent. Talk your way out of it if you can. Let's face it, you're probably in a situation that will not be improved by violence. If all that fails, Theodore Roosevelt said, the unforgivable crime is soft hitting. Do not hit at all if it can be avoided, but never hit softly. People forget that they have legs a lot in fights. They also forget that there is more to do with them than just kicking people. If you grapple someone else's calf by wrapping a leg around it and twist your hips, you can easily bring them down into groundwork, which is always advantageous for the defender. Avoid them. De-escalate. Swallow your pride. It's extremely easy to end up permanently injured or permanently injure someone else in a fight. If you can't avoid the fight, choose soft ground, if possible. Fight to win. There's no chivalry in a fight. Keep your head. Knife attacks are very hard to defend, even for black belt whatever martial art you practice. 2/3 of knife attacks happen from concealed situations and you won't be able to respond. So the best defense against a knife attack is to prevent it from happening. Situational awareness and the guts to walk away when it doesn't feel right are the best defenses against knife attacks. As counterintuitive as it sounds, winning is not always good. In a street fight, if you win, there's a chance the guy will come back with his buddies and jump you, whereas in my experience, if you lose while also getting a few punches in but mainly focusing on harm reduction, there is much less chance for retaliation and therefore injury. There's no such thing as a fair fight. Ever. Nothing is wrong with running. If you fight someone with a knife instead of running, expect to get cut or stabbed. Avoid it as much as you can. But once you get involved in a fight, give it your all, and if it's on the street and the other person falls in the ground, just run away at max speed. If the other person is bigger than you, kicks are probably a bad idea. Also, never go into a fight trying to slap someone. It seems as though a lot of people opt to slap instead of a punch. But it's quite easy for the other person to grab hold of you this way. It seems like a low blow, but it's not cowardly to make your move when they aren't expecting it. Like while they are talking smack, or right as you seem to be leaving. This is just another way of getting ahead and hopefully keeping them off of you. I don't encourage fighting, of course. But in some situations, I have found fighting became my only option if I wanted to leave unscathed. Also, know who they are. Not necessarily names and such, but who they roll with. That way you have an idea of who to look out for after or during the fight. Some wimps get other people to fight for them. So be careful of that. I'm sure I could say more, but this is what I can think of RNPs. There are certain pressure points that will knock them out. If you research these points, you can win quickly, but if you don't research first, you could quite literally kill your opponent. Or leave them unharmed. 1. Keep your hands up, and your chin down. 2. A lot of people in street fights will try to take you down, whether or not they know what they are doing. It's common for people to go for the waist. Learn to sprawl. Kick your legs out behind you and try to put your chest on the back of their head. This makes it a lot harder for someone inexperienced to take you to the ground. 3. If you think it's going to be a long fight, invest in body shots. A lot of people will be so fixated on defending their head and face they will let body shots through, and those add up quickly. 4. Don't let them get in your head. If your opponent makes you mad and they stay cool, you've lost. 5. Focus on aiming. Throwing a lot of shots as fast as you can, or all your power into them all the time will wear you out really fast. 6. Never show your back to your opponent. If they take your back, it's pretty much over. 7. Do everything in your power to stay on top. Having top control and forcing your opponent to support your body weight whenever possible will tire them out, help you reserve your energy, and keep you in a position where you can avoid as much damage as possible. The best fighters aren't typically the ones who try to dish out the most damage, but the ones who try to minimize the damage they take. In a street fight, not necessarily MMA, two different worlds of course. Best of luck if you have to fight, but honestly, if you can avoid it, avoid it. Get away, run if you have to. You do not know who you are fighting. Also, if you follow some of these suggestions and eye gouge someone, you are going to get absolutely fucked up. This will escalate the fight from hopefully just a few punches to the other person actively trying to injure you. I have had fights where moments after we've shaken hands and laughed. This does not happen if you try something stupid, it ends with something broken. I will also add that it's not fun getting home and wondering if you've done lasting damage to someone. The red mist is very real, especially when coupled with drink/drugs. 1. Avoid fighting at all costs. 2. Fight dirty. This is reality, not a movie. 3. Keep moving. A mobile target is a difficult target. 4. Only fight until you can escape the situation. 5. You're gonna get hit, and it's gonna hurt. 6. Use everything you can. Elbows, knees, nails, teeth, improvised weapons, bottles, rocks, etc. Whatever it takes to win. Like I said in number 2, this is not a movie. If you lose the fight, you can get seriously messed up physically. If you win the fight, you can get sued into oblivion. Both are terrible options. De-escalate and run. If you have absolutely no other option, then flip a switch and fight like your life depends on it. Because it might. Also, be careful of getting hit on the pavement, that stuff can crack your skull. Rule 1, walk away. If anyone tried to fight you, do whatever you can to walk away. Agree that you're the pussy, etc. Just walk away towards other people or cameras. Rule 2, don't bother fighting fair. Go for the old dick twist. Grab those nuts and fucking twist them like a doorknob. Make the other person cry and disable them from getting up, giving you enough time to walk away. Rule 3, if they go down, stop immediately. Walk away. Rule 4, if all else fails and you're on the ground getting stomped on, grab the person's arm or leg and sink your teeth in. Rip chunks of flesh from their arm or calf and watch as they disengage the fight to seek medical attention. Rule 5, remember, on the street there are no rules like boxing, UFC, etc. No ref is coming to save you. Rule 6, make Rule 1 your second, third, And fourth priority. If you are against a man that you feel will genuinely hurt you, there are no rules. Hit that a man in the balls as hard as you can every chance you get to punch, kick, knee, anything to get him on the floor in too much pain to hurt you. Thank you for watching Reddit Space. Please subscribe if you love these Reddit stories.